Hi folks, and welcome back. I've been out on a walking holiday in the Lake District, and it's reminded me of a cardinal rule that my dad taught me about walking in the Lake District and probably anywhere else of a similar nature, which is that you pack for every weather condition. Because out here, whether it's summer, winter, whatever, anything can happen very quickly, and it can be quite unexpected. And we had a bit of that today. But it also reminded me of an incident that happened years ago now when I was in the Lake District with a group of friends doing Duke of Edinburgh, and the lessons that I took from that. What happened was we set off with our group, went up a hill, which turned out to be the wrong hill, and one of our group got into difficulty and we actually, as a group, had to be taken off the mountain by mountain rescue. This was very embarrassing for us, but also for our scout group leader. And when it came to trying to work out what had happened, clearly the scout group leader was not very happy, and it felt like we had to sort of defend ourselves, and some people started pointing fingers, as they do in these sorts of circumstances. And the question came up of how did you end up on the wrong hill? And the point was made that, the navigator took us up the wrong hill. The response to this was, well, who was checking the navigator? And the point that seemed to come from this was, it's not good enough to simply do nothing and then blame someone else if they get it wrong. To use a quote from Voltaire in the 18th century, every man is guilty of all the good he did not do. I mean, we can now translate that in a more modern time to every person is guilty of all the good that they didn't do. But the point is, if you're not contributing, then essentially it's not good enough to expect someone else to have done it all and then to blame them. And I suppose that from perhaps a more religious point of view, thinking about the theology that I've taught for a long time, it also reminds me of when Jesus was dealing with a woman who was about to be stoned to death. It's in the New Testament, I can't remember exactly where. And he said to the crowd, let him without sin cast the first stone. So basically, you chastise this woman, but you go on, you throw a stone if you have never sinned yourself. And this has stuck with me, this event where everything kind of went wrong because we all followed one person, and frankly, lots of things went wrong, but we followed one person with the navigation, and it seemed like everyone wanted to blame them. So fast forward, and I was actually leading a team, and an event had occurred which needed to be investigated, but I was keen that it wasn't run in a way that would make people feel defensive, make them feel like they had to either justify themselves or start leading them to blame each other. My approach to that, you might say it's a good approach, may not, I don't know. Maybe you'll comment below and let me know. But what I did essentially was I talked to them as a team, and because we have remote working, or had remote working at the time, I should say, still do, but anyway, whatever. What I did was I got them to go on Zoom, and cameras off, change their names to player 1, player 2, etc. So I didn't know who was saying what. And they all responded in the chat. So I asked some questions, and I framed them as, rather than who did what in anything, it was, was this protocol followed by you as a team? I don't want any names. I don't want anyone saying I did this or this person did this. I want to just know, as a team, was this done? Was this done? when was the call made? When did the first aider hand over? These sort of questions, and they answered as a team. And if there was a discrepancy, I said, well, you're going to have to work out an answer between you, and we're going to have to try and work out an answer if someone's saying one thing and someone's saying another thing. But it was very productive because nobody's names were being mentioned, and essentially I was saying, we're going to investigate this as a team. Not looking to blame, we're just looking to find out what happened, and that means, we're not pointing fingers. To actually use a phrase that my friend who had been navigating on that day has used since, when you point, 3 fingers point back at you. Blaming each other doesn't work. So to sort of bring it back round, you have to be fully prepared, but you also have to be fully prepared to check that what's going on is going on, and to take responsibility. It's a full complement of preparation, if you like, much like going onto a hill requires a full complement of clothing and food, etc. A full complement of preparation for dealing with a situation is that you actually take responsibility and do what you can as well. Or that's how I see it. I'd be interested to know what you think about that. So as ever, I'd love to know what you think. So if you've got any questions or comments, please leave them below. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.